We're going to continue by talking about how to use composition to determine if two functions are inverses of each other. So this right here, and I like the example a lot, so really make sure you read that example. What we're going to do is we're going to do two compositions, all right, which is what we did at the end of the day yesterday. All right, we're going to do that, do it twice, and if we get the same input, which you'll see is the letter x, for both of them, then they are in fact inverses. All right, so it's basically taking your knowledge that you just learned about inverses, taking your knowledge of composition from yesterday and putting it together. Okay, so we're going to do an example together. These two functions, f of x and g of x, are they inverses? Maybe. We should do some work to find out. So I'm going to do f of g of x over here and g of f of x over there. So two different compositions. Now I've changed the way that I'm teaching composition after I taught you guys. All right, I decided to kind of change it as I moved on yesterday into different classes. What I've been doing, I think you guys are pretty solid with this, but what I've been doing is I've been saying, okay, what is the outside function? F. So if I imagine writing this, 2/3 x plus 6, when I do this composition, what's the inside function? G. I take this x and replace it with the entire function g of x. Okay? So that's going to be equal to 2/3 times what? Great, that whole thing. And then don't forget, I still need to do what at the end? Plus 6. So see how I wrote the entire f of x function, but in the x, in the input, is where I put the other function. Again, if you're still having trouble with this, that's okay. We still have time next week to do more problems like this. So now it becomes simplifying. So what is 2/3 times 3/2? How did you know that? Because they're reciprocals. Very good. And when you multiply reciprocals, you get 1. So that becomes just x. What is 2/3 times a negative 9? Minus 6, right? Negative 6. If you're having trouble with that, what is 9 times 2? 18 divided by 3 is 6. Great, plus 6. And what happens when you simplify negative 6 and positive 6? You get just x. Now again, that is what I want to see. If I look up here, what letter is there? X. And what did I get at the end? X. Great. What if I would have done f of g of 2? What number am I looking for? 2. Okay, so it's the same idea. All right. No, you have to do the work, and you got to get that same thing. Now, what happened? What would have happened if this said x plus 4?
It's wrong. It's not a function.
It's not wrong. No, they're both functions. They're not inverses. So if you get x, yay, you got to do this one. If you don't get x, you're done, and you write not inverses. Not inverses. So they're both functions. I'm telling you they're both functions. But I want to know, are they inverses? All right, let's try the other one then. Since we got x, we got to do the other one. Again, if you don't get x, you can stop and write they're not inverses. No, don't drop. Just make sure you write not inverses. Okay, let's try this one. Again, the way I've been teaching it is what is the outside function?
G.
G. So I'm going to write the g of x function, 3 over 2x minus 9. But instead of writing x, I'm going to write the entire f of x function where it says x. So I'm going to write 2/3 x plus 6. All right, again, it becomes the same thing. Distribute, and we're looking to see, do we get just x? 3/2 times 2/3. Again, they're reciprocals, so that's just x. 3/2 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And that becomes x. So what are we going to write about these two? Inverses. Yay, inverses. Don't fight it. Are there any questions about how to find these to see if they're inverses using composition. Again, you could have done the steps that I showed you in the first half of class. Change this to y, switch x and y, solve for the new y, and you would have gotten that. All right? But I'm not letting you do that. You have to use composition. I need you to practice composition. This stuff here. Could have done what you did at the beginning of class. Okay? All right, go ahead.